Good morning, YouTube. Muchismo Eugene. Another video here. And the title of this video is Never Downplay What You're Really Looking At. Never downplay what you really see or looking at. And what I'm talking about is the narcissists and all of their behavior and the traits, the character traits. We're not talking about narcissistic traits. We're talking about narcissistic personality disorder traits. And with regards of, I think it's about 7 or 9, they're grandiose, egotistical, self-centered, inflated ego. They're very critical of everyone else, and they elevate their own self-worth, like over the top. There's nothing wrong with having confidence in your abilities and speaking, matter of fact of what you think you're able to accomplish. But there's a distinct difference, and we see the difference, all of you awakened empaths. But today, this video, I was feeding the cat and the dog, as I always do in the morning, and she tends to beg me until I relent and give her her food. Often I like to have coffee or something like that, but I end up giving her her food because it's just annoying, the meowing. And likewise, I take the puppy out and let him do his business and bring him back in. But he's so high strung because he's not fixed. And I've often told my daughter and my son, I say, you think Leo is narcissistic? He's got a lot of narcissistic, tendencies. And it's always been somewhat of a joke. Oh, you guys got hair in your nostrils, man. It's annoying, mad annoying. So anyway, the dog has a tendency, when out of my sight, he goes and he tries to eat Mia's food. Or actually not even tries, I can hear him growl before he actually tries to take over her bowl. And he actually accomplishes this. Now, Mia's not declawed. She could strike him with just one blow and he'll probably never do it again. But she's a docile cat. You've seen her sitting on me, on my lap, many times. She's never really scratched me in a vicious way. Just a different kind of cat. And the cat was here first. Leo came in and began to just take over. And you say, well, what does this got to do with the title of the video? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because when we downplay, let's take animals for example. You have animals, some of them are big breed dogs, and they are just, some of them innate to their disposition. I won't say nature because they have an animalistic nature. They have an animal instinct. But some, however, like Labrador Retrievers, and there are other breeds that some of you guys may know, put it in the comments, whatnot, that don't have a vicious bone in their body. And let's take some Rottweilers, Mastiff, and all of these other bigger breed dogs. Some of them are very protective when it comes to children and just family members in general. They're very protective. And so, coinciding with the title of this video, we like to downplay a lot of times when we see the vicious tendencies in animals. And to that point, Leo, I believe, when I say in joking, I think he acts like a narcissist. It is very possible, and this is my opinion, and a lot of times we empaths, when we talk about stuff, people's like, oh man, they're off the rocker. When you're actually awakening and awakening and awakening, empaths, we really care less about what people think. This knowledge I'm giving you guys, or insight, is for those who can relate, who are empathetic, and have a high level of intuitiveness. Like, I would like to think that I have a certain level of intuitiveness. My intuition is very, very heightened sometimes. Not all the time, unfortunately. So my thing is, I kind of see this dog as being, well, actually, this dog came from a guy who I know in my heart is very narcissistic. He's just very covert. And looking back, when I was talking about the dog acting like a narcissist to the children, and my children are awake. No, they're aware. They're slightly awake, but they're more aware of what narcissists are and what they look like. And I would hope one day that they're awake in a way that they don't downplay anything that is right in front of them, which is the title of this video. Never downplay what you're seeing with your eyes. And all the time, it's not these physical eyes. If these eyes fail you, your intuition, there's going to be a feeling. There's going to be some kind of vibe that you're going to get, vibration. And so the dog takes over the cat's food, and I go in obviously and intervene and reprimand him and put him in his little cage as a way of timeout or whatever that is. Put him in his cage, isolate him. And so, which is a privilege to be out and about, just like in society. They built prisons and everything like this for people who are not able to exist among general society. I'm not endorsing prisons, but I'm not downplaying the need for them. And so, actually, that being said, you have a lot of psych asylums, just as many psych asylums or mental health institutions than you do, or as you do, prisons. So they're always trying to get rid of a problem rather than see a problem for what it is. They call it everything but what it is: narcissistic personality disorder. That is the pervasive, eroding thing in our world today. There is none other than this that is so much eroding our society. But most people don't know what this is, so therefore what they do is they continue to, he has psychological issues, depression, he's schizophrenia, blah 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 blah. And none of us can really right way say that we can adequately, emphatically, unanimously see this in every single person we meet right off the bat. So it takes sometimes an extensive amount of time around these people. But if a person commits a crime or does something, they go back and say, he was quiet, he was isolated, and then they blame the parents. They'll blame a lot of things, which may be a valid point. It may derive from the parents and the upbringing or the lack thereof. But no, we have to deal with what behavior is this person demonstrating, in and of themselves, apart from their parents. That may be able to give you an idea or engage in what is going on with that person, but we have to look at that person, hold them accountable, look at their behavior independently from upbringing and whatnot. So the dog came from a guy that is very narcissistic. And what I'm saying today is I slowly, gradually backed away from a lot of people. And some of them not even gradually, I just instantly. I had an aha moment once I've awakened from narcissistic abuse in 2020. It took around, I think really last year is when it peaked in me. Everything peaked out to the point where I started seeing things, whereas I need to back away. I need to become isolated. I need to get away from this person. I need to just not let them miss me, but let them wonder what's going on with me. Not that I care for them to wonder, but let them have their life and let me move on. Because what did I gain from the experience of being involved with these people? They're just intel. They're just people. I mean, not intel. They're informants. They're just people there to gain and garner information about you and spread it around. There's no friendships there. There's no real, true, authentic bonds with these people. There's just people I knew and happened to run into and cross paths, and ends up you exhaust 10, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there with them, and it's going nowhere. Not to say wholesome or general conversations in passing is anything wrong with that, but you have to understand your life is progressive. You have one life and you don't have another one on this earth. So if you let people exhaust your energy in that respect, well, hey, comes down to this dog is actually acting out, and he does things, and he's consistently doing this stuff. And again, who cares about how this is perceived? But all you animal lovers and animal owners, think about some of what I'm saying as it relates to human beings. And then you look at your animals. So a lot of times your animals, you might not believe it, I do, your animal will take on the behavior of that surroundings. I'll give you a perfect case in point. There's a residents that are living right here among us that have animals that are so disturbed, that are so unruly. And guess what? The owners are unruly. The owners can't sit their ass down, can't stay home. Literally every 15 minutes, these individuals are out and about for short periods of time, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And this is to get attention. This is all for attention. And at the same time, I don't think it's just attention. They're actually garnering supply. They're out on the hunt for supply. They need to be needed. They need to be around somebody, because narcissists can't be alone. They nose as hell in the street. Go. They need to see what's going on in somebody else's life, because guess what? They have to continue to get intel and information. It's like a computer. If you've only programmed it to a certain degree and it exhausts all that input and it's put it out, it has nothing more to give than a repetitive of the same, because nothing new has been inputted in there. Input into the computer, input and output. Now, if you didn't understand a narcissist, now you do. They only do what they have seen done outside of themselves, which we all adapt to our environments. We gain information and knowledge and insight from a lot of what's outside of us. But narcissists don't ever introspect. They don't ever come to a point where they form their own identity, such as normal people do, and go on to be an individual. They have multiple individuals inside of them, and they're all just placated on the fact that which face or which mask do I use for whatever specific occasion. So, wrapping this up, I thought I needed to come on and talk about the animal. My dog in specific, and like the cat, I love both of the animals. The cat, she can be, she can have attitude, different things all the time. But for the most part, she seems to be a little more docile. Leo's gonna have to, I don't know, I probably won't get him fixed. Was thinking about breeding him. Just don't know. But this is not life or death situation with him. He's just got those behavior issues, and it jumped out at me that he continues to try to no boundaries. He continues to do what he wants to do, even though he knows there are some repercussions. Now, he's gotten a lot better with his behavior. And it was a time, maybe a few years ago, people would talk and dote on their animal, and it'd be go on and on and on. Like similar to what I'm doing now, we'll just talk about our animal. And I would be like, wow, they're talking about their animal more than they do their children or their family. Well, that's where their heart's at. I understand this. There are different types of people, and there's individuals that can do whatever they're damn well please. But the dog and the cat and the animal conversations that we tend to have, either seek to spotlight how good of a person we are, or it seeks to highlight some of the things that our intuition and our observation tells us. And in this case, it's the latter. because it's times when I can dote on Mia, I can dote on Leo. They're awesome animals. We got them. I didn't want them at first, but they've been a blessing to us. Very good for our sanity. But as anything that you acquire, that you're responsible for, there comes times when you got highs, lows, good times and bad times. And I just wanted to share with you some of the stuff that this little booger is experiencing, because I don't like when he does that. And it just reminds me of people. No boundaries. They do whatever they damn well please. They take what they want when they want. Don't have to ask. They're sneaky. When your back is turned, they'll do everything under the sun and over the moon. And so, when he acts like that, and knowing what I know about narcissism, I see some parallels, and that's probably deep reaching right there. But I really think God, who creates animals and human beings, there may be a very close parallel to this behavior as it pertains to, let's just think, do you believe there are narcissistic animals or narcissistic personality disorder animals? That's a thought. And that's the deep thinking of a mind such as mine, genius as I be. But I think about these things. Not just because I'm just reaching deep into the stratosphere. It's because I see and I observe and I ponder. And I say, man, this behavior is sort of like humans. And narcissists in specific. Selfish individuals that take things without permission. Entitlement. Again, guys, let me know what you think about this. Bless.